다 로버나 명상배 세장은 처음 타와 오 마음을 보지 놀러도 같이 요나야 나타내서 삼모다나 레귤레이션데 처음 타와 지금 철에 세비 시험도 마셔야 되는 시리자 와서 레귤레이션 라는 거 그러더니 내롱을 지선다는 거 그래 그래서 넷스코도 편이 잡아 주어야 다 주로 고음도가 아무도 다 고음도 주로 매되니 요래 주로는 노바 땅되니 요래 해나 고타 먹고 따라하는 거다 체험을 해 이제 저기는 편이 잡아 주 주시바데 가래래 어떤 배좀 무슨 공반 지정 person 다시 대통령 홀로 섬지 되니 뽕아 상태는 홀로 로가 세상은 홀로 사활이 홀로지 홀로다 맞음 뽕아 상태는 홀로지 홀로 상고 로가 세상은 홀로지 사활이 홀로서 자활이 홀로 다 사활이 홀로 때문에 대정 벌써 계속 야야다 저쪽으로 시험에 어떤 적딩 사와 춘적딩이 소된 적딩 사와 참마가 되니 그거 소리 상대기야 망대래 홀로섬 거는 이제니 넷스코도 편이 잡아 줘야지 내 주시바데 자와지니 서대 탑나 만나서 요나 바로서 막 족라서 보더니 탑나 만나서 이래 기와 담게 니서 너는 다 가지고 기와 되더니 토마기와 바르기와 토마기와서 토마기와 이제 체들라지 매일 좀 제기 상태지 맞지 mamang jakap kari na chama yapo chago sani meti 가지고 있는 데서 제대로 참아 도보는 자용으로 적디 사와 진이는 매일 삼티 오는 때 시합이요 삼티를 진이 오 되니 나기 냐보다 당성식이요 예를 들니 참만 좀 보고 오 삼티 진 매적에 jak합이 좀만 오 저를 라망이요 봐 저를 대지요 봐 너가 매일 대지요 봐 토탕요 봐 제가 와서 제용으로 오 이 라진냐보다 저용이 대야 추에 적진이로게 지성도는 딱 담에 추에 이제 찾아뵙는데 추에 적진이 추적진이가 참여 거면 강나 피바다 대비 저저 봐봐 해로 강나오서 이걸로 추시바데 너로 저 추지 님보다 삼제리 삼제 요번에 시합을 때 삼제 시합이 내가 강미 제용은 이 추지대 가는 생각을 되는 deputy 편이 담에 줘야 돼 체들이 저기서 총과 체보다 있나 총과 체보 잡 총들이 잘라 야보 뭐 이제 좀 많이 봐 이제 계산되게 로라자 민항자 저는 남가서 야 때마고 뭐 추서 삼대교 설명만 어쩌자 대표마대와 가는 답을 제대로 그때 사봤지 이제 싹게 개와래 싹가다 집에 개와냐 그래서 까비 갖고 요리다. 다쳐지들 배사도고 파로 송던 걸 제들이 주미실이 근데 오다 도미 몇도세도 선에 싹과다 기반을 깔리 잡고 요리 영하게 그래서 깨지기가 뒤 sak게 개와 강요는 사미 개와든 사미 개와 생어되니 체비 바자다리 시바는 공리 나그 추지 체비 바자리 체비 바자데 강릉을 따대 추리 추들이 주고 요리 이들은 가래 샘 잡아 샘 주용을 얘네 주도 가래 잡아 된다 난디 쇼키 머리 대 임핑으로 주네 이 난디 차론가 보다 소리 이 핀배 난이 냠바 찾게 좀 거요래 그러잖아 레저 광고 참아를 잡고 제토고 요 말이 옛날에는 자차들은 독저 섬저 제서면 배바도 되서 와도 탐지들이 답이 줄이 이게 대답을 좀 미티 기안 되는 양들이 세상 속나 가지고 와당 기안 하나 되려고 저는 삼바당 얘기를 내가 했는데 적진법 메이나 파르신의 기와자는 양을 살리니 들이 sakye gewa tanchi merido lari topso ngone pena jamba chutam zobartini jambartini longu chutamnatini meri zobartini toda mo dongde ba tserembo laso ba tobate yonde 대 잠시에서 다 미지 동지 받으니 오 미지 소남 벌써 저거 대문이 답을 취지 용지 이래지 치스마라 라도 죽기 잡사서니 딸라만 개베지 지금 잡는 변에서 내가 탐지 받아 오더니 만나는 거 룸에 따로 차기 요래더니 참에 시사를 시고 말이 대답하더니 다 록이 가리더니 록이 출라 추담도 별로가 되더니 록이 가리는 록이나 그렇지 야고 차기 요래 디비마도 치스마 야고 차오니 대 탈로만 그다 가지게 뭐도 다도 랑 다지고 싸네 들이지는 강 터터지니 총총 당연히 랑 자체로도 같아도 그래 저거 좀 뭐냐도 내서만 말이야 저거 삼십 같아도 랑 저거지는 이 솔직히 내서만 틀은 제대로 동이 대신이 되다다 들이 동이 되가 나디니 좀 나디 동이 제라도 또 감을 찍자매 들이 참아 자는 이성 들이라가 파마를 뛰어매가 차용을 다들이 취매와래 취매면 좀 취실을 삼제리 대매를 다 따라다는 거 파송 또 참제세 동가면은 들이랑 파랑시자 다소니 막가리 취치 초랑 시자지 누구의 반로 속고요 말에 강이들 끼와 체압을 리 잡타먹으랑 그런 세는 뒤린 거네 들이자다 들이 끼고는 빼는 진짜부터 세파 좀 노원 좀 따라서 들 얘기 시바만 거 되게 거래 대중들이 하고는 들 내주들 그렇게 잡대 얘기는 다 망보여는 게 받은 데서 오늘 들고 있었다 쭉 돌아면 동태 내주들 거를 계속 망보시게 그래요 좀 내렸더니 들이자 담배 켜던 데서 이나 피는 더 없어 다 취재백세 근데서 내가 추고 온다 없지 내가 근데 편이 담배 취해서 너는 담배 라치는 이제 뒤에 무슨 송대리 맞추려면 개바담 제가 탑을 계속만 이제 뒤에서 탐체디 죽어다는 거를 내가 가려고 삼대에 인핑을 놓으니 전에 제를 납작왔다면 내가 같이 핑이도 이렇게 습지 마시고 오니들이 문어 자체적으로 핑 짜서만 레어대 제정로에 도마짱도 봐도 습지다 싶어 보니더니 소람 이제 충청도 저바 충청도던 제본 연도월에 대면에 들이다 상화대 이제 감탐제대 교핑원에 옆에는 다 못하서만 탐지고 못하잖아서 원래 못하고 피바 내가 가니도 들 요리 거기서 생겨요 그다 또 속차는 때다 조금 더 칼은 더 봐. 내가 답이 수능 이제 수능 총총 최대로 수능 되거든 되니까 연구 요리 너는 또 차와들 대화되는 이 대화디 저저 가와 톡다 사람들 다 수능을 톡တယ်수능 집한테 소소 비마다 대화 됐다 그러면 이 경sun이 되베 남행이 되베 다시니 좀좀 되베 다다 소소던 것을 대시송아 들들게 하고도 너는 좀대 시고 좀대 시를 들이다다 더서벤트 행위답에 주지 도트를 주지 좀대를 두고 좀대 하고는 이 피마를 도대체 이걸 필요로 해서
So then, and then next it says in the text, grant your blessings that I may practice the holy Dharma with fervent diligence, which will surely be of benefit in this and future lives. So we have found the precious human body, but no matter how precious it is, we also must understand karma. When we understand karma, then we will reflect on the impermanence of this life. Because based on understanding karma, we also understand that that the mind cannot die. And after the body has died, the mind will continue to follow the karmic winds wherever they take it. So it says here the may I practice the holy Dharma with diligence. So some people need a religion, some people do not need a religion. Some people say that religion can be even harmful. So whether or not you need a religion, you have to decide for yourself. But we need to understand what the religion, so to speak, the Dharma, actually is. So when beings uphold the Dharma and propagate the Dharma and preserve the Dharma, they do so via the three wheels. So first there is the wheel of meditation, which is called the wheel of abandonment and meditation. Then there is the wheel of recitation, where one reflects and hears and reflects, so one learns. And then there is the wheel of activity, the karmic wheel of activity. So through these three wheels, many people uphold the Buddha Dharma, for example, by starting a Dharma center or serving in a Dharma center, engaging also in mundane activities, which become really Dharma activities. And so all of these Dharma activities are beneficial for this life and future lives. So what we call the Dharma refers to all these skillful means, various practices that we engage in, such as the 6 paramitas and so forth. But basically we speak of virtuous actions and non-virtuous actions. And virtuous actions are said to be virtues in the beginning, the middle, and in the end. Virtues in the beginning means that in this life we give rise to a mind of love and compassion. So a person with an altruistic intention in their life, they will aspire for everyone to be well and happy, the people, the country, and so on. And with that attitude in their minds, everyone will become a friend to them. They see everyone as a friend, even if they just engage in worldly activities. So such a person who possesses love also will possess wisdom. And with wisdom, they know how to uphold the view of equalizing self with others. And so such a person will get along with other people. And whatever they set out doing will naturally become beneficial for others. They will also experience great happiness themselves and will experience freedom and autonomy. So they exchange, they equalize self with others. So that also, even though it seems to be a worldly activity, is the Dharma. Also Sagya Pandita had said that now such a person with an altruistic intention, whatever they do, even if it is a mundane act, it will be beneficial for everyone. So there is people who engage in virtuous activities in the Dharma and also in a mundane sense. So on the other hand, then there's those who cling to the I, and a person who gives rise to love eliminates this clinging to the I. So therefore, now speaking of needing or not needing a religion or the Dharma, the essence of the Dharma is to possess love. And so a person with great love will also have great wisdom, and whatever they do will be beneficial in this and future lifetimes. For example, even if it's a mundane activity like being a business person who's selling things, then if that person has a good intention, then they will sell good quality things and they will not cheat on others. They will not sell them like kind of fake things like that. And then with the profits from their business, they might support a school, start a school or a hospital, or build a road and so on. Make offerings to a Dharma center, or just benefit others in any way. And all of this is Dharma practice. And we call these virtues the conceptual virtues. So conceptual virtues entail some effort, so some difficulty. So we need to make money, and when we need to spend that money, there's expenses and so on. So a person maybe who doesn't understand the Dharma might just feel that these are useless activities. Why are you working so hard for this? So that's the nature of the conceptual virtues. And then there's the non-conceptual virtues, which are found that this non-conceptual virtue is founded on the 4 immeasurables, as we mentioned before. And that is the inner Dharma. The actual inner Dharma are the 4 immeasurables. And that term Dharma itself means to transform, to change into something else. So to fix the mind, to change the mind. And it's mainly what needs to be changed is our own state of mind. It is the self-grasping that needs to be transformed into an altruistic mind, so that the self-grasping melts away like an ice block. So for that, we must be able to uphold the view of equalizing self with others. And then naturally, through understanding karma, you will naturally treat everyone really well and will engage in good activities. So even if that's a worldly person, if they have this intention, then maybe 60 or 70% of what they do becomes beneficial activity. And therefore it all becomes really an activity of the Holy Dharma. And that person will experience happiness in their lives and great merit and great autonomy, freedom, and so forth. And then in next lifetimes, they will continuously engage in actions and driven by love and compassion. So when they die, it is said that if such a person dies, they will take birth either as a human or as a god. That is the result of the conceptual virtues activities. So meaning that the result of, for example, generosity, ethical discipline, or patience. These lead to birth as humans and gods. In a human realm, for example, if one has been generous, one will find wealth and possessions. Then if one has practiced ethical discipline, one will find the precious human body. If one has practiced patience, one will experience a long life, harmonious companions, and a beautiful face, for example. For example, when you see someone with a beautiful face, and you understand the quality of the Dharma, then you will recognize, oh, this is because of the Dharma. This is an example of a perfect merit, a quality of the Dharma. And then in a future life, such a person will finally achieve the royal seat of the Dharmakaya for their own sake. And then for the sake of others appear as, for example, a great spiritual master, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama in this world, who really is like a lamp in the darkness. So everyone knows that, so there is no need even to say much. So we have those 2 systems in the world, the mundane system and the dharmic or religious system. And even if one just follows a mundane worldly system, if one has love, then even that will become actually the Dharma in essence, and one will take a good future lifetime. Now, if one doesn't understand these skillful means, then one will only think about oneself, and if one only thinks about oneself, one will cause a lot of harm toward others. For example, if there are 2 companions together, and one is selfish all the time, then these 2 people will not be able to stay together for long. If someone is so selfish, no one wants to stay with them. And then they will suffer the rest of their lives. And they suffer really because of selfishness, their self-grasping. So they only encounter difficulties wherever they go. Everything is difficult, and they see everyone as an enemy, sometimes even their own parents. So that is the fault of not having the Dharma, or in other words, love. And there are some people who go to schools to kill many children completely meaninglessly, and then they also take their own life. However, when they take their own life, the suffering will not leave them. Then in the future, they will continue to kill themselves hundreds and thousands of times over and over again. They will have to continue to experience the same kind of intense suffering again and again. And that is because of the result corresponding to the cause. So there is an activity corresponding to the cause and an experience corresponding to the cause. There are many different ways to explain the workings of karma, cause and effect, how karma ripens. Also, you can ask more about that to the great scholars. We don't want to waste our time now speaking too much about it. But in brief, the karma will ripen corresponding to the cause that has been accumulated. So here it says that the Holy Dharma will surely be of benefit in this life and in future lives. And that is, if you understand karma, then that will be of benefit in this life and in future lives. So actually the worldly system and the Dharma system are a union in brief. And if one is very skillful, one can make any mundane activity into a Dharma activity through the mind of love and compassion, the altruistic mind. For example, a mundane activity like scientific developments has helped sentient beings so much. And that also arises from an aspiration. And just there's a difference in one's magnitude of aspiration. So according to the Holy Dharma, we first take refuge, and then next we cultivate the motivation of bodhicitta. And if we have that, then even the slightest act, the smallest act of generosity, for example, will bear great fruits. Any worldly activity that is virtuous will become very beneficial. For example, people who fabricate cars, who manufacture cars, that's all they do, they just make cars. But it also benefits a lot of people, even if it's a worldly activity. Through vehicles, people can travel very quickly. They can even travel through the sky. And so all of that also, we can enjoy all of that also because of the merit we have accumulated. And in an animal, for example, even the slightest happiness an animal experiences also has a cause, and that cause is merit. And again, merit is a mind of love and compassion. And when someone possesses merit, they are skillful in accomplishing the benefit and happiness of others. And so when that is accomplished, in the future life, there will be a fruition, a result corresponding to the cause. And also there will be fruition of full maturation and so on. So the workings of karma are very subtle. But if you understand this, basically if you understand the workings of karma, cause and effect, then you have really understood the Dharma. Because the Dharma really is summarized into the teachings on karma, cause and effect. And if you understand karma, then you will know how to create benefit and happiness in this life and in future lives.
Gina, me by the dinner, Miss Amna Cargo Tess, oh, then Tapan go pin by the Tess on Sana, this is your cargo. This take some zone to worry. This is why when the zone to tattoo by it. There is just a dog water the paradise about Tico, Tati, the Matratum Zoba, and they come for the Pim, don't do something, Sham, Tato Sanchez, I go on to the paradise about part of the scenes of Sajimata, you already. Chata was to do the Matonia to those as well. This something gave us our race, and the test of zone ocean, and the test of Simmons to say, don't talk about this is why you race.
The next it says, in the same sentence, so may I practice at the Holy Dharma with fervent diligence, in brief, again, the Holy Dharma, the essence of the Holy Dharma is love. And love and compassion need to be sustained with mindfulness. And the Buddha also had said that what we refer to as emptiness is heedfulness. So this heedfulness and conscientiousness, for example, in Drikung Kagyu prayer, the 7 verses of supplication to Tara for protection by Lord Chikten Sumgön, in there it says, one's own mind is so difficult to realize. And even though it is seen, it is not habituated because beings are distracted by negative activities. And so that is because of a lack of mindfulness. If you are mindful, then you will be careful in all the activities you engage in the world and in the Dharma. So mindfulness, from mindfulness, wisdom arises. And an aspect of this wisdom is love, or better, immeasurable love. So we take that as the basis, and then we remind ourselves, for example, by thinking, I have taken the refuge vow. So that means I must not harm others, and I must accomplish their benefit. I must help them entirely. I must do the best I can in accomplishing this, even if it's just a mundane activity. I have taken a vow, I have this commitment. So this mindfulness and heedfulness, that is actually the ultimate diligence. So diligence is mindfulness. And with mindfulness, we always introspect and think, am I transgressing the law of karma or not? Am I being afflicted? Are there thoughts of attachment, anger, and ignorance? Or for example, if you make a gift to someone, then you ask yourself, what is my intention? Why did I give this gift? Was it really to benefit this person entirely? And so this is what mindful awareness knows. And that needs to be developed so that the mind becomes, in whatever you do, you are completely crystal clear. So mindfulness is the ultimate diligence. And then with mindfulness, we engage in our normal practices like the 6 paramitas and so on. So regarding the 6 paramitas, the practices of generosity, ethical discipline, and patience, they lead to the higher realms, the 3 higher realms. And then meditation and wisdom lead ultimately to enlightenment. And for all of them, we need diligence. So speaking about perfection or paramita, only a Buddha really has perfected these. But we can still practice them as well as we can, aspects of these, until they are perfected. So then we practice generosity, discipline, and patience as well as we can, or engage in any other virtuous activity with diligence. So again, the ultimate diligence is mindfulness.
노바성도 소장하서 전도되나 대양 전도되는 세배토로 중에서는 다다디 인후 접제 방을 소타로 도마 창조 가리상고 당하란 걸 용아이 성글고는 형 탑반이甚至 탐지를 인후가 사도 마땅한 소방고 something 소타 탑지 도도 차와리 야 이들은 인후가 마땅한 토디 들려가서 강피피를 적고 용아이 성고니 이걸 속자 차와지는 때는 송도제야 되라고 삼바탕 희지 지스 맞고 상내진이지 인피 접제 좀 사축서도 막 창송선 돌드는 선도들 책송이야 대제는데 대제 피박 가리 저거야 오 대제는 yin samte ge luani de la ge sem samte de luga ge no pa rangi ge masam mari sorsong ya de te tang de pa me be ko sorsong ya de sem yin sa chok sem na gare re de na di da so mari gedik dizongni ji jong sabba ge tam ge se da le Samba get on the Giship, or somebody. Pimba Druko, so Mrs. Sancho said, Yotana. Then he Sölkha Sawata give him given and Joya, give McGiver giver and Joya, or Namana John Dory. Could you Sancho say what's a little Garci Palm, if you can McGiver the community, giver and John Dory is. Give us the Timbo Town, McGiver the Domity, giver and John Doya, yours. Pero Sölkha 강보고는 Sölkha 망고세로 마시는 행 타반이 상문전 Sölkha 뜻을 코스 소나 마사블을 콜루테잖아 샘대 쇼요만 사족 샘 뒤도 그 코스게 대마다 지금 옛날랑 토리성거더니 하다 매 공방 담들이 톡도리 뒤도 동시보고 뭐 사족 샘 되는더니 기와 무게가 좋아돼 비기 무게가 기와 좋아돼 사바가 쏘치 머리 사바가리 다 프린세스나 뭐 삼바체미가 될 로티다고 오구나 우리 데레티리들이 다 깐나 듬제 찾아 불러서 다다 소장 나서 예비 예비 좀 상도 인우 예비 방을 소탈상 예비 예비는 상동상 니지 다나 용나 아동상서 가리데 신기 차라 탐제의 속신성의 삶이 샘대 요리 사직의 저 요래시 옛날 것도 들어섭니다. 등에들 레자 박차들이 레 박차들이 탈고 요래시 근데 음악을 싸움 얘기가 또 그때가 막 철거하니 되고 그것도 시작하면 대탐제 탈로 상황 줘봐 레 박차들이 박차들이 돌아오대 막 책도 앞에는 추잡하는 게들이 차트고 요때는 산속세부 떠고들이 산속세배 먹여가 좀 개발인 줄도 속에서 못해 대가는 내가 삼바 재미지 내가 더 삼바 재미지구나 이 먹여가 담지 개발인 줄 듣고요 들이 제라더니 소장하성을 그런 것도 봤담세 될라 이 제를 간나 좀돼 타격 탐색라서 그러니까 그좀 잡혔던 레게도 시구나 같이 듣고 요말 때 망보에 얘는 삼바기가 다 삼바 재미를 로지 줄때 보구나 들으면 기와는 저렇고 요래 시기도 조금 말해 시기도 변해 되리더니 다그 체도 조금 말해 그때는 나도 저기 시발선절로 좀 다티라도 짜데 진시 바요를 터게래 진시 바요를 되는 무슨 되는 게 통주제라고 생각이 담시라 이 시기도 놓고 자그 말해 돼 바요 그런 거서 들소고대 그 다하는 하통상지바데 심지 섬지 연대 식이고 요리스 다다 레나 박차고 던져고 박차디 가르송나 그리고 선대 식이 못해 상쪽세고 제다나 그래서 내가 돌이 차쪽 상지 보면 로토고 요리도 못한 것도 없고 대다도 하고를 들이다가 랑도 처지 시발선절로 없어
So when we enter the gates of the Holy Dharma, we first take the refuge vow, and then the various other vows of Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva, and Vajrayana vehicles. And so here, then next it says, grant your blessings that I am able to discern between what I should and should not do, according to the prohibitions, such as the 3 kinds of vows, taking with the master, the disciples, and the yidam. So the 3 kinds of vows are these 3 levels of vows of pratimoksha, bodhisattva, and vajrayana vehicle. In brief, to summarize these 3 vows, the essence of the pratimoksha or individual liberation vow is to not cause any harm towards another sentient being with body, speech, and mind. So here you take a firm commitment saying that I will abandon harming others with body, speech, and mind really from the bottom of my heart. I will not harm a single sentient being. If you have this intention, then that is the very essence of all the pratimoksha vows, so individual liberation vows. And then on top of not harming others, you want to benefit others as much as you can. And that's the essence of the bodhisattva vows, where you think that I must benefit others with my body, speech, and mind. Any sentient being, even a little animal, I must protect them with love and compassion. And that is the essence of the bodhisattva vows. And so, what is the benefit of practicing these vows? If we practice accordingly, according to these vows, then whatever you do will naturally become virtue. So there is no need to think about what should I do with body and speech or should not do. If your mind is full of love, then just naturally what you do with body and speech will become beneficial. It is just often that we also lose our mindfulness. But even if we sometimes lose our mindfulness, if on the basis, if our foundation is bodhicitta, then whatever we do, we will still transform even something negative into something positive. For example, we often unknowingly kill little animals. We don't really want that, but we do it anyways. But still, our motivation is on the basis bodhicitta. So then it still becomes a virtuous activity. We can still transform it into something virtuous. So all outer activities, we often transform virtue into non-virtue, but we can also transform non-virtue into virtue. And that all depends on our inner motivation. So if the inner motivation is bodhicitta, even if sometimes you fall into unmindfulness and you act negatively, it still can become virtuous. So like with the example of killing little animals unknowingly. Because you will always have this awareness. I know that I must be killing little animals without knowing it, but I feel great love and great compassion for these animals. And I don't want to kill them. And after they have died, it is really just their body that dies, but their mind cannot die. May they have the seed of liberation, and may through the power of my love for them, may they be born in the 3 higher realms, as gods or as humans. So this is how, with our motivation, we can transform something negative into something positive. So it all depends on the motivation. And so then it says, and bless me to know what to do and what to avoid in accordance with the subtle workings of karma, cause and effect. So we have said the essence of the pratimoksha vows is to abandon harming others, and the essence of the bodhisattva vows is to accomplish the benefit of others. Then thirdly, the essence of the tantric vows is to develop a pure perception towards the universe and all sentient beings. So that is to recognize that all sentient beings, whether they are subtle or coarse, with a body or without a body, they all have a mind. And because they have a mind, they have the cause of awakening within them. They possess Buddha nature. They just appear in these different shapes and forms because of their own karmas, their imprints in their minds. So that is what they need to become liberated from. And they become liberated from it through the power of love and compassion. And so in this way, through the power of your own love and compassion, even if you, for example, kill little animals without really knowing that, you're not going to do it intentionally, but without knowing, and then thinking in this way for them, you are really giving them the seed of liberation. And that means that the karmic imprints that they carry with them, which are like old clothing, are washed and become cleansed through the power of your own bodhicitta. And that is why through bodhicitta, non-virtue can actually be transformed into virtue. So if love and compassion, immeasurable love and compassion arise, non-virtue can transform into virtue. And so then regarding knowing what to do and what not to do, it also refers to the vows that we have taken according to Pratimoksha Bodhisattva and the Vajrayana. There is no end to speaking of them. There is just so much to talk about that, but in the end, it all comes down to the motivation of immeasurable love. That is really the determining factor that transforms non-virtue into virtue. But of course, we can't transform it if we do something knowingly. If we knowingly kill a little animal, for example, then it's hard to change non-virtue into virtue. So regarding what to do and what to avoid, and that comes down again to mindfulness and heedfulness. So you should have a commitment that whatever you do and whoever you come into contact with in any way, or whoever sees you, you must look after them and with loving kindness and compassion, sustaining love with mindfulness and heedfulness. And then also, as we said, the essence of the tantric vows is to have a pure perception towards the universe and sentient beings. Whoever you encounter, any sentient being, all sentient beings possess Buddha nature. And it is just that they, due to a certain imprint, they, for example, appear as an animal. But once they overcome these obscurations, once it is purified, there still is just their Buddha nature. And when this Buddha nature eventually connects with bodhicitta, then they will take birth in the higher realms temporarily and ultimately attain enlightenment through the power of aspiration.
Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, 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 om mani. Page 32.
Page 32, main sadhana.
Om soba vajada sarva dharma soba yashada va. Om soba vajada sarva dharma soba vajada va. Om soba vajada sarva dharma soba vajada va. Nama sarva Bashum Bashum Bhagavad Savate Kungate Savare Emaganga Nagan Sova Nama Sarvada Gada Bashum Bashum Bhagavad Savate Kungate Savare Emaganga Nagan Sova Nama Sarvada Na hong om banza amarda kundrale hanahan hon banza amarda kundrale hana hon om banza amarda kundra hana hon nama sarvada Avaloy Geda Om Sambara Ho Nama Sarva Da Avaloy Om Sambara Ho Nama Sarva Da Gada Avaloy Sambara Ho Jana Avaloy Geda Nama Samedai Sabara Rime Sambhava Samaya Bhama Duru Shendaya Dholane Om Jana Avaloy Geta Nama Sameda Saparena Rime Sambhava Samaya Mahamana Duru Shendaya Dholane Om Jana Avaloy Geta Nama Sameda Sapara Rime Sambhava Samaya Mahama Duru Shendaya Dholane Nama Sameda Budana Jaiso Prabhanda Deva Samaya Sova Nama Sameda Budana Jaiso Prabhanda Deva Samaya Sova Nama Sameda Budana Jaiso Prabhanda Deva Om Benza Mala Guru Parambara Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Om Benza Mala Guru Parambara Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Om Benza Mala Guru Parambara Saparevara Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Aya Lokeshwara Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Aya Lokeshwara Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Aya Lokeshwara Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Devata Kine Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Devata Kine Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Devata Kine Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Dharma Pala Raksha Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Dharma Pala Raksha Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Om Dhamma Pala Raksha Sapareva Dzambhala Kaka Gaye Resolution, page 39.
Page 39.
Ranye Chenrezig sarva tugashat wazan nebjo tojechen namba wudashan Ranye latan Teyan ramba jechon de tuga Lega hong la de Teyan tuga sawan ja shaya la de Tenye chunye taba yensa Jatar yane me pa ju.
Vivid in the heart of myself as Chenrezig is a free, from which light radiates to the outer phenomena and the inner beings of the great compassionate one, melting them into light which dissolves into me. Then by stages I become smaller and smaller, and then dissolve into the 6 syllables at the heart. Then they melt into the seed syllable Hri at the heart. Then this disappears in the origin of the purity of phenomena, like a rainbow, and dissolves into the non-objectified state.
Shower blessing,
Okay.
page 27.
Okay. Bringing down blessings, 27 in the concise sadhana of Chenrezig.
Lama Tenzin Zawa Sumje Tujuga Tamche Chinda Badar Sun Sanla Wangurdu Zelle
From the life force hung at the heart of myself, visualized as the deity, radiates light, invoking the enlightened mind of the Guru, knowledge holders, and 3 roots. They all appear like billowing clouds and bestow blessings, empowerment, and cities, and perform enlightened deeds.
We will take a 1 hour lunch for, we'll return at 1 p.m. Arizona time and we will continue. Thank you.